Hi, Linda Fussell here. We're actually on the start of day 9, so this is technically day 8's every 2-day video catch-up. And yeah, interesting because I'm now very conscious of noticing what's going on and where I am and what my thoughts are. Mostly so that I can record them, so that's an interesting thing. And it's an exercise that I do with a lot of my clients, particularly clients suffering from anxiety, is get them to observe what's going on and where the anxiety is coming from. So I'm kind of doing a similar thing but slightly different, where I'm observing my day and seeing, oh yeah, that I must remember to talk about that or think about that or capture that as my, effectively this is like my diary note. I obviously am doing my own journaling and all of those things, but this is my time to share things with you, with my community, and just keep a bit of a record really of where things are. So after Monday and Tuesday, so we're into our second week of lockdown, and where are we and how are we and what have we learned? I think that's the big thing, is what have we learned? So from my point of view, a few things. The days have been really long. I am at the moment super busy, and there's a variety of things for that. One is running the business. There's it's month end, and there's all the changes that are there, so that's keeping me super busy. My existing clients, it's been great. The time with them has been fantastic. I've got new clients coming on, which is brilliant, and then I've been doing a lot of work on how I can help more people through sharing and mostly free things. What can I offer? So that has kept me busy. But my observation, I think it was on Monday. Yeah, Monday. I started my day. Started just after 8 as normal, but I finished about 1:45, and it's not the first time, I'll be honest, it's not the first time that's happened. But I was very conscious of what that looked like, and it was great fun. I'll be honest, it was great fun, but I couldn't do it every day. And what I'm seeing is that because everyone's moved everything online, there is an endless stream of things to read and to look at, and webinars to join and networking events to join, and it's fabulous to not be traveling to them all the time. But my observation is to be very selective, and I'm really doing this now, being very selective about what I choose to attend, what I choose to look at, and what I choose to spend my time on. So it's when we go to networking events physically, we look at what our diary's like, we look at whether we want to go, we look at who's going to be there, all those kind of things. When they're online, we tend to not know who's going to be there because you don't get to see who the attendees are going to be beforehand. But also the attendees are coming from everywhere. They can be coming from absolutely anywhere, which is fabulous. It's fabulous in one way and quite interesting for me in another way. I have worked globally for many years. Many years. I've been working with global companies and doing things in different locations, working remotely. So this is not new to me in as a day-to-day role. What is new is everyone else coming into that world. And someone said to me, oh, is it strange having other people in that world? And no, it's not. It's beautiful. But what it is doing is making me very conscious of, like I say, where I spend my time and who I connect with. So a year ago, and it is a year ago, my daughter got married on the 29th of March. And after that, beginning of April, I effectively started a bit of a change of direction in the business, going more into coaching and more into supporting businesses and leaders, teams, and starting retreats and things. So that was a pivot point for me, was this time last year. And one of the things for me was to connect locally. Sounds really strange, but even though I'd been working from home, so effectively I'd been working in my home locality, I didn't have a big local network. All that my connections were global, in all sorts of companies and all sorts of places. I've been very used to working different time zones. I've had clients on the West Coast and of the US, and my yoga community is on the West Coast of the US. Well, it's a global community, but the teacher lives on the West Coast. And I've had clients in Australia. And I've had corporate clients, you know, from Singapore, Paris, London, mainly, and in the UK. So my world has always been across time zones, always been connecting like this, connecting online. And now all of a sudden it's different. And I think there's a danger of overwhelm. There's a danger of just far too much stuff coming through. So I had a fantastic day on Monday. I'll have make no bones about that. It was absolutely brilliant. Did all sorts of things, the groups I was connecting with, the people I was meeting, the things I was doing. I absolutely loved Monday. It was absolutely fabulous. On Tuesday, after the long day, I had a bit of a lie-in, which is something you can do when you're working from home. And it's interesting because I talk about routine all the time, but I also am very, very conscious on sleep. Sleep is important, sleep patterns are important, and it's really essential that we get enough sleep. So when I've had a long day, I do tend to lie in the morning and have a bit longer, so that I wake up really refreshed and revitalized and ready to go. And I started yesterday with what am I going to do today, my usual, and actually blocked out all contact with the outside world as my intention to start with. It didn't last. And then focused on all the things that I needed to do for me. So there were a number of things that needed sorting in my own world, and I got on with doing that. And I sorted out some websites and tidied up some stuff and did links and did all sorts of other things I needed to do. But in between there were people that reached out, and I did obviously engage with them, because if people are reaching out, that's definitely what you do want to be doing, is engaging. So I did that. But I stayed off. I didn't go onto any social media sites per se, unless I had personal messages come up from them. And I didn't read any of the group messages in my WhatsApp groups, because they can be overwhelming. There's just a flood of messages and discussions, and it's fantastic, people are connecting, but I can't afford to get lost in all of that all the time. And I didn't go onto LinkedIn at all yesterday. I haven't been onto Facebook very much either. I've been posting stuff on Instagram, and then that naturally shares into Twitter and into my Facebook page, I think. Yeah, into my Facebook page. And so that's where I'm going to now, is what did I do yesterday on Tuesday? When my walk, it was slightly later than I would normally do, because I did have a call that I'd set up. And I was out for probably an hour 20, so it was longer than I should have been, longer than I intended to. But I really felt I needed fresh air, exercise, walking, and just being outdoors after my very long and busy day on Monday. And when I look back on it, I took 154 photographs, and that's 154 photographs. I absolutely loved being present and noticing, and I talk about this a lot, but as I was walking, the dog loves to sniff. She can sniff every blade of grass along the way, and it can be very frustrating not being able to walk properly. But actually it was perfect yesterday, because I noticed and stopped, and I mean I do all the time, and you'll see from a lot of my photos, the ones that I share, but yesterday I was taking pictures of spring, and I was taking mostly macro type pictures, so ones that are close-ups of buds and flowers and leaves opening. And it's such a beautiful and special time of the year. It's a real joy and pleasure and honor to be able to see it and to notice it and to have the time to do it. So that's what I did yesterday. I took all these photos, and obviously when you're stopping taking photos and people walk past, they strike up a conversation, so that's also pretty good, keeping our distance and all those kind of things, but we're just having that connection with people. I know lots of the dog walkers, because obviously when I go out walking with a dog, that's fine, but now there's lots of other people out, and it's lovely just to have a quick conversation. And then just as I was coming up very close to home, we've got some beautiful cherry trees that are out at the moment. I've been taking, that's one of my I've been doing a hashtag on Instagram and Twitter called My Corner in Time, and it's anybody can use My Corner in Time, but what I'm trying to do is do a photographic record of a view from a corner or of a corner that or every day. I can say ideally at the same time of day, but it doesn't really matter, and just noticing what's different and what's there. And every now and then on the one that's out with the cherry trees, I get to capture people. And there was at this time, yesterday was a lovely picture of a man walking with his young Labrador pup. But we stopped and had a chat afterwards, and it was lovely, just connecting on how his dog's doing, how he's doing, how he's not finding it that easy working from home, but how he is enjoying seeing the spring. And his comment was, I guess spring's not any earlier this year, but it just feels different. And in fact, I think it's because I've seen it, because I'm noticing it, and that's exactly it. We're noticing it. We're actually present with it every day, and we're able to see things, and it's just really seeing things. Like when we're talking to people, it's about listening. When we're out, it's about seeing, and obviously listening to the bird sounds and things. But we were talking a bit further, and so yes, he was struggling with the working from home a little bit, but some things were nice, and he'd had a really good day on Monday, because he works for a medical research company, and they've been obviously working on the COVID-19 and solutions for that, drugs for that, and they were starting human trials, and so he was buoyant, and then we were talking about the difference it makes for other people, and the conversation was fantastic. It was really lovely. And then last night, so the rest of the day when I came back, I got back into finishing up doing things on the website, and ticked off loads of those tasks that have been sitting on my to-do list for quite a long time that I haven't taken the time to get to, because I'm always I want to say reactive. So spending a lot of time when people need me, I am very reactive to what's needed. And obviously when I've got my clients, I do a lot of prep for what's coming up, and we do all those kind of things. And when I've been working on putting together some courses and things, so I've been doing some proactive stuff, but this was those little tasks that really just take up airtime in my head, that don't need to be there, that felt really good to get done. So I ticked off a whole stack of things, and then when it got to 6 o'clock, I turned my machine off and walked away from my computer. Now for me, in fact it wasn't 6, that's a fib. It was 7. It was 7 because I took a call at 6:30. So yes, it was 7 o'clock last night. But I shut my laptop down and went away from it. Now to be fair, I don't often do that. But I'd had a long day the day before, and I felt it was okay to do it. And I went and had some dinner, made a really nice dinner with extra meals, so I can have that today again. And I vegged on the couch and watched some TV and played with the dog. We did some games, and we had some fun, and we just did some things together, and it turned out to be really nice. And I knew that I had a pretty busy day today, starting at 7 o'clock this morning, because I was doing some work in Asia side again, and then I had a call with a beautiful lass from Mongolia, really super interesting lass, bright and early this morning, so it's been a good start to the day. And now here I am, sort of I would say mid-morning, getting on towards where does mid-morning and where does late morning start, but I am about to go out for a walk with the dog, hence I'm sort of all ready to go out. And I thought, no, before I get into what really is the start of my next day, I just wanted to capture my thoughts of the last 2 days. And yeah, hope that you're doing okay, hope that you're settling in, and hope you're finding the positivity in things that are around you. And so my takeaways from today are: notice what's around you, look at the beauty in things. I'd love you to join me on the My Corner in Time if it's something you want to do, but don't feel obsessed about it. And be very careful, mindful about where you're spending your time and what you're getting involved in. There is an avalanche of support out there, which is fantastic. A lot of it's free, a lot of new courses popping up, there's all sorts of things. I guess my real advice is access what's useful to you. But I think the big thing is know what you want to achieve out of it as far as possible. Now, some people I know are really in a fog state and not sure of what they want or where they're going, and that's where talk to somebody. You can set up a free chat with me. That was what this morning's one was. Get some time, have a free chat. Just get some clarity around what your thinking is and where you should be going and what you should be looking at. And then be selective on which groups you want to join, which networking groups you want to spend time with. Once you've spent time with the networking groups, which people you want to follow up with, which conversations you want to take forward, which courses you want to take on. Be careful not to take on too much. And what more you can offer for the people around you. So the first thing is, look after you, be responsible for you, and know that your life is important. And then the second thing is, once you have got your place, your space in order, look at the people around you. We are all responsible to some degree for people around us. And that responsibility can be something as simple as the way you're engaging, the way you're interacting, the way you're using resources, whether it's electricity, water, plastic, whatever you're doing for the environment. We are all responsible for a number of things. And obviously now we're responsible for helping people physically with shopping and getting to medical appointments, and mental well-being. Just how are people feeling, how are they coping, where are the stress points. Had a very interesting statistic actually on Monday, where the suicide rate is currently still higher than the COVID-19 death rate, and that was sobering. So we're all focused on COVID-19 because it's affecting all of us across the world. Almost all of us are in some state of lockdown or awareness of what's happening. But actually the suicide rate, mental illness is still higher, and that's a lonely killer. So be aware of what your mental state is like, and do reach out, and be aware of others around you that could do with some help. And following on from that, Russell Brand had a very heartfelt. I love his things. I do love Russell Brand's stuff that he puts out on. Mostly I watch it on Instagram, but I'm sure it's on lots of places. But he was talking about addiction and what lockdown is doing for addicts. Now I work with a number of addicts on a variety of addictions, but what he was talking about was the access to the groups. So when addicts have, they've got their 12-step program, and they've got things that they're working with, which are fabulous, and it's very easy to lose some of that when they've got their regular meetups. And I say they because it's they're groups that I'm not a member of, but there are loads of groups around in every country and every aspect of addiction. There are groups where the addicts meet up frequently and they support each other. And these have all gone online, and so they're all available still. But now you have to actually do something more. You have to connect from your home and get people into your home, kind of thing. So it's a bit different. And anybody in that situation, really don't give up now. You've come so far. Keep going. You can do this. You've got this. You can do it. And if you need extra help, find somebody that can help you. There are a lot of people doing amazing things. Everybody's working online now. I say everybody, but there are hundreds of online support groups, access points, services being offered, and it's not all expensive, and it's not all free. Okay, so I think you need to look both ways. Things should not. It's great that people are offering stuff for free, but at the same time, if we don't keep the economy going and keep money flowing, everything will grind to a halt. So those that have funds really need to be investing. Those that have value to add should be charging. And those that can support, obviously offer what you can for free, but don't forget to look after your business, to look after your family, and also to look after the economy. Keep the system in order, keep the system healthy. So with that, this was going to once again be a short one, but hey, it's the way things go. I am going to go out and have a walk, and today's going to be an active walk, not stopping and taking hundreds of photos is my intention, mostly because I have got so much work to do today. I've got a couple of calls this afternoon, and I've got loads of other things to get sorted. So that's my world, and I just I hope you're doing all right, and reach out if you need anything, and I wish you well. We are all in this together. It's a time for us to connect, but it's also very much a time for us to be quiet, to reflect, to look internally at what's important for us, and to take on some challenge that we can look after for ourselves, some physical challenge, some mental challenge, some growth challenge, some whatever challenge that's good for us. So with that, have a wonderful day. Looking forward to connecting next with you.